What's going on, everyone? Coming to y'all with another deck tech, this time on my Nira Hellkite Duelist deck. Before I get too far into this, I want to say, no, this is not a real Nira. Obviously, the actual Niras were never printed in foil, nor would, I should say, if it was authentic, it wouldn't have a flat stamp. It would actually be individually holographic, and it would have a unique back, which this does not. So, this is just a custom foil proxy printed for me by a buddy of mine. The other thing I want to say is, this is not going to be some super crazy busted flicker Nira a bunch of times and never lose the game type of deck. I wanted a 5-color dragon tribal deck. I didn't want to use the same commanders all my friends had because there's a lot of different 5-color dragon decks here. So I went with Nira. And I very, very, very rarely cast her, and when I do, it's usually just as a 6/6 beater. I have cast her to save my life 3 times, and I always died the immediate following turn. I have had a few people say, tell me and yell at me that I can't use the card, and I show them the other commander options, and they see how much more powerful the deck would be if I actually used Morophon or Scion of the Ur Dragon or something, and they end up always being okay with me using Nira because they realize the deck is actively worse with Nira at the helm. Alright, so this is a 5-color Legendary Dragon Tribal deck. That's right, Legendary Dragons are where I wanted to focus my energy because there were so many cool Legendary Matters cards over the years, and I thought it would be fun to kind of put them into use. So, let's get into it. Lands, Command Tower, Haven, Unclaimed Territory. Lands aren't very exciting, so I'm going to kind of breeze through these really quickly. Murmuring Bosque, Crumbling Necropolis, Mystic Monastery, Savage Lands. Into dual lands, I don't have all my shocks yet, but I do have Breeding Pool, Godless Shrine, Temple Garden, Blood Crypt, and Overgrown Tomb, as well as Watery Grave. A few Pain lands with Battlefield Forge, Llanowar Wastes, Yavimaya Coast, Caves of Koilos, Shivan Reef, Random Morphic Pool because I have one in the binder, Crozen Verge, Terramorphic Expanse, Ash Barrens. And then we have our basics, so we have 1, 2, 3 snow-covered plains, 1, 2 snow-covered islands, 1 snow-covered swamp, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 snow-covered mountains, and 1, 2, 3 snow-covered forests. Alright, the mana ramp package, also not super exciting, so let's breeze through it. Soul Ring, Felwar Stone, Rakdos Signet, Gruul Signet, Rampant Growth, Sakura Tribe Elder. Into the north because I am running Snowlands, so it's just 2nd Rampant Growth, or 3rd if you count Sakura. Farseek lets me grab one of my Shocklands. Dragon Sword, mana ramp as well as card draw later on. Chromatic Lantern is mana ramp and fixing. Kadam's Reach, Cultivate, Burnished Heart. All this stuff is stuff that you've seen before. Couple cost reducers, we have Dragonlord Servant, as well as Goreclaw Terror of Kalsisma. I don't play Dragon Speaker Shaman. Find it to be just a little bit redundant, and honestly I'd rather have the turn 2 play, hold up a counter spell or removal spell, and same thing on turn 4. Then we have Joda, who lets me kind of cheat my bigger stuff down for 5 mana, and if I happen to have Morophon on the board, then I get to just spam my entire hand. Alright, so into the Legendary Dragons. Dromoka the Eternal, Dragon Attacks, Bolster 2, pretty solid. Scion of the Ur Dragon, one of the most iconic 5-color dragons in the game, if not the most iconic 5-color dragon in the game. My favorite thing to do with Scion is to fill my yard with him, to then end up reanimating everything with Primeval's Glorious Rebirth, which is a lot of fun. Niv Mizzet Reborn, this deck is not really built to try to get as many different 2-color combinations as I can, but he does act as a form of card draw. Ramos Dragon Engine, just solid, ends up letting me spit out a lot more dragons than I ordinarily would because many of these are multicolored. Silumgar acts as removal because when a dragon attacks, the creatures our defending player controls gets -1/-1. We attack with 5 dragons, it's -5/-5 to their board. Lathlas, whenever a non-token dragon enters the battlefield, make a 5/5 dragon. Pretty solid. Korvath Brightflame is here primarily to go find Sylvia Brightspear, and to be found by Sylvia if we happen to draw her first. He's a dragon, he's not great, but I wanted to play him and Sylvia both somewhere. Vivictus Osmati the Dire is awesome, just great great disruption to the opponents. Sometimes we do end up getting something good off the top, but this deck is a lot of fun, and I want to play with a lot of fun, cool, big dragons. Dragon Lord Dramoka, because we don't like blue decks. Intet the Dreamer. I had a few of these different Primeval Dragons laying around, and I just wanted a place to use them. Intet has been good for me about 30 or 40% of the time. Not an awesome dragon, but a lot of fun whenever it does something cool. Numot the Devastator, because there's a lot of problem lands in the format, and it's on a dragon, so it's land removal on a dragon. Yeah. I mean, it just kind of worked itself out. Tanab the Harvester, also fun to use with Scion. Scion puts something good in the yard, you use Tanab later to get it back, or obviously you don't want to do it the same turn you've used Scion of the Air Dragon, but still, slow reanimation, decent beats. Speaking of reanimation, here's Bladewing the Risen, get back a dragon whenever he ETBs. Atarka helps our dragons kill quicker. Morophon, also a cost reducer of sorts, ends up making our dragons easier to cast. A couple non-legendary dragons, we have Thunderbreak Regent, so people are less inclined to target our dragons. Scale Lord Reckoner, so they're really less inclined to target our dragons. And Udvara Hellkite, because how can you play a dragon deck without Udvara Hellkite? Some dragon support stuff. I'm greasing through this pretty quick. My camera's on low battery, so let's go ahead and get through this. Dragon ETBs, it gets haste, and then we do the Scourge of Valkis type thing where we deal damage. Sylvia tutors up Korvath, as well as acts as a second copy of Atarka. Crucible of Fire, simple but strong. Dragons get 3/3. Taigam, make our dragons uncounterable and occasionally get to use a Preordain twice. Kalia of the Vast, because I had it, so why not? You know, swing with or drop a big fat dragon. Wrath Caption lets us cast our historic spells as though they had flash. I think this is where we're moving kind of into the Legendary Matter section of the deck. Maybe. Yeah, it looks like it. So, cast our legends at instant speed. Kamal's Druidic Vow. You know, screw it. Just dump all our mana into it one turn if we have nothing else to do. Try to find some good fatties off the top. Primeval's Glorious Rebirth is a lot of fun. If we just use it for, you know, moderate value in the late game when our board's been wiped a few times, or if we fill the yard with Scion, we can just get back everything, and well, we can kill pretty quickly. Some card draw stuff. We have Preordain, Brainstorm, Board the Weatherlight. You know, grab a historic off the top 5. Temur Ascendancy gives our creatures haste and lets us draw cards when we play big fat dragons. Reki says when we play a legend we draw a card, and Jorah says when we play a historic spell we draw a card. Eladamri's Call finds any creature. Limdul's Vault basically lets us find anything from our deck. Sarkhan's Triumph finds any dragon. I don't need a Time of Need for this deck, by the way. Time of Need finds any legendary creature. Birthing Pod. Again, I have one laying around, thought I'd throw it in here, see if it was any good, and it turns out that, yeah, even in a non-combo deck, Birthing Pod is really solid. Swords, get rid of that creature. On Thin Ice, because, again, I have one laying around, didn't have a spare path, and I am on Snowlands, so why not? Reality Shift, Assassin's Trophy, get rid of any problem permanent. Anguished Unmaking, get rid of almost any problem permanent. Crux of Fate, my stuff's fine, yours is not. Merciless Eviction. When you're in 5 color, just play the best removal spells you can get your hands on, and this is one of the best. Blasphemous Act, because 1 mana removal is never bad. A couple counter spells, we have Arcane Denial, and then Render Silent, which I throw in damn near everything I can. And finishing things off, we have Swiftfoot Boots to protect our MVP dragons. So, yeah, pretty simple, pretty straight to the point. This is Nira, Hellkite Duelist, big fat dragons. So I hope you guys like the deck tech. Let me know if you guys want to see any more videos in the future. I have plenty more decks to show off. So, yeah, hopefully you guys find it kind of cool. It's a moderately powerful deck. You know, it does well against 5s and 6s. When we start getting into the 7, 8, 9, 10 range, it tends to fall behind a little bit. But overall, it's a fun deck. So, yeah. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you want to see more. And I'll see y'all next time.